it's time to put those little Sims to work, make them earn their keep. They're going to pick out the last 5 books that I will be reading during the month of September. Hi y'all, I'm Allison. Got one more part of my September TBR list to make, and that is going to be my Sims pick. I guess we could call it a new TBR game. I did choose books for it last month, but I didn't show y'all the process. And since then, I have learned how to screen record. So I'm going to open up my game and y'all can meet my Sims and see how they picked my prompts for me. And then, of course, we will be assigning books based on what they choose. But before we fire up the game, let me show y'all what I did for last month. I have read all of them except for Anna and the King of Siam. I still have 4 more days in the month, so I should be able to get to this. And on the Caiaphas Cain, this is 3 books bound in one. I read book 1 as an audiobook. I will have a video soon giving y'all my thoughts and impressions on these books. So if you're curious about any of them, and if you want to see what I was doing while listening to my audiobook, then be sure and subscribe and keep an eye out for that review video. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get into The Sims and see what Annie and her family are going to make me read this month. Now, I've been playing Sims since it first began way back in 2000. Avid Sims fan, although I haven't played much lately. And my Sims that you will be meeting and the houses that they live in are all built by me from the Drifter Challenge, which I think started in 2015. We wiped out the map, so I am slowly rebuilding Willow Creek and Oasis Springs. So we're going to start with Annie Rambler and her family, and we'll also do a little house tour at the end.
All right, so here we are in Oasis Springs. Real quick, you might notice that my map is practically empty. Eventually, this whole map will be filled in with properties that I have built, other than I didn't build the restaurant. Through the course of my TBR game, be visiting each household in the order that they were made. So we're going to be starting with Annie Rambler, and this is the very first house that I've ever built in The Sims 4. So here we are at Annie and Paolo's house. So let's have them go inside and start our TBR game. So the way this works, I had another Sim further on down the line who is an author. Pause this for a second. Write books for their income, and then they titled the books with a reading prompt. So all of these are various prompts, and you can get an idea. So just have to tell the Sim to read something off the shelf, and that will be my prompt for the month. We'll be picking 5 books, and hopefully this goes well. I had a ton of issues figuring out the technical sides of this, so I think this is like my 4th time to do it. And yeah, cross our fingers that it works. Okay, so Annie is going to pick our first book. Don't put it back. No. Doesn't count. We don't even know what she picked. Let's try again. I hope this isn't a sign of things to come. Get her back in view. She picked Two-Face, a book with at least 2 POVs.
All right, I always know I can count on Annie, so thanks to her, we're off to a great start. So I'll get to continue my Audible series. So we've got 3 narrators for this book. They are Stephen Perry, Penelope Rollins, and Emma Gregory. And the book is Caves of Ice. It's part 2 in the Caiaphas Cain series from the Warhammer world. And I'm really enjoying this. I read book 1 last month, and so in September I will be continuing on with book 2. If you're looking for a good Audible series, check out Caiaphas Cain. It's from the Black Library. It's sci-fi. You don't have to be familiar with the world of Warhammer. I've never played it, but the books, I'm really enjoying it so far. So thank you, Annie. That was a great one.
Okay, the kids are like, yeah. Here we go. We've got Brandon over here making a mess. And I don't know what clothes he's wearing. Anyway, Annie's oblivious. She's just reading her book. And we're going to interrupt Paolo. It's a little early for, well, it's 3 in the afternoon. Not too bad. Let's see what Paolo gets for us. Owl Crate Jr. Okay, so I will randomly pick a book from the Owl Crate Jr. boxes. I have quite a few selections. I'm behind on that group. So far, so good.
All right, Paolo, you did me a solid too, because Owl Crate Jr. had sent a book back in the summer. I don't remember when it came in, but I haven't gotten to read it yet. We've got Amari and the Night Brothers, these glares, by B.B. Alston. I've been wanting to read this for a long time, but it just hasn't made it onto my list yet. So we're going to be following Amari. And from what I understand, this kind of has like a Men in Black kind of vibe to it. She finds a briefcase in her brother's closet after he has gone missing. In the briefcase is a nomination for the summer tryouts for the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. And she's convinced that this secret society will have information about her missing brother, Quentin. So I've seen this is a booktube darling and people are loving it, and I can't wait to see what all the hype is about. All right. Let's head back over to the game.
Bronte. She is out in the pool. We're going to have to ruin her fun and make her come in and pick a book for us. So she is my heir, and the house that we will be visiting in October will get to see grown-up Bronte, and like I said, go visit her if we can get her out of the pool. I just love this house. I'm so proud of this one. She's just drawing out the drama. Okay, where's she gonna go sit? Back out at the pool. I don't blame her. If I had a pool, that's where I'd be sitting to read too. Okay. Hey, I own that.
So this is going to be a fun one. Bronte is sending this to Storygraph's website, which I love. I use this instead of Goodreads to keep track of all of my stats in my library and all of that fun bookish content, in addition to my reading journals, of course. So here is Storygraph. Go ahead and sign in.
Down over here, we have owned books, and I am going to refresh this page. We're going to go for the third time, and then I'm going to have to pick one of the 3 books listed here. So cross your fingers, we get a good one. So there's 1, 2, and here we go. 3. I have to pick out of this one. Okay, so I can either do City of Ashes, Bad Kitty for President, or Flood Tide. City of Ashes is part 2, so I could do City of Bones. I believe was the first one, right? Yes, City of Bones. Or I can do Bad Kitty for President. I love Bad Kitty. He's hilarious. Or I could do Flood Tide, which is part of a series that's number 14. I would obviously do number 1. That's Clive Cussler. These are action mystery thrillers. Kind of like Indiana Jones.
Out of the owned books, out of the 3, I am going with Bad Kitty for President. I want to go as easy on myself as possible. This month is going to be another very busy month. And Bad Kitty by Nick Bruhl. This series is precious. I used to homeschool my kids, and we would start the day with reading time. We had Bad Kitty on there, so I have very nostalgic feelings for these, and it's so charming and adorable and funny. Bad Kitty's always getting into some kind of a mess or another. It is a chapter book, so with the holidays, I mean, they're going to be here before we know it. If you have a elementary student on your list, check out the Bad Kitty books. It might be a hidden gem for Christmas. All right. Back over, and let's see what Beatrice has in store for us.
All right. Beatrice is just making a mess. All of Annie's children, by the way, were named after literary references. Annie was a writer herself. So Bronte is from the Bronte sisters, and Beatrice is from Much Ado About Nothing. Then we have their brothers, Brandon, Colonel Brandon from Sense and Sensibility, and Bennett from, of course, Pride and Prejudice. All right, she's got her book. She can get around. Oh, she's going to sit in the chair. She's not happy. Okay, Cornwell. Oh boy. I do love Patricia Cornwell. I just wasn't quite ready to dive into that series yet, but at least it'll be a quick selection. And you know what? It might be a good ease into spooky season. This is going to be the Kay Scarpetta series.
Oh, I've got mixed feelings on this one. Thanks, Beatrice. Well, I do love this author. I wasn't quite ready to add another huge series onto my list. This is the Kay Scarpetta series, and I think it's up to book 27 now. I have read them all up until probably 22, in that range, and it's been so long that I wanted to start back over. And I have read this one multiple times just from starting over when new books came out, and I had fallen way behind and trying to keep up with all of the info. Anyway, this was her very first book, her debut. In fact, she's still listed as Patricia Daniels Cornwell on here. Eventually she becomes Patricia D. Cornwell, and then she just drops the middle name completely, or it might be a maiden name. But this follows Kay Scarpetta. She is a medical examiner in Virginia, and she not only having to do her job, they solve murders, in the process of her job, but she's also dealing with a lot of hostility from being a woman working in a man's field. So this series started back in 1990. Wow, this is 30 years old. That's just wrong. I remember reading this when I was in my 20s in the 90s. So anyway, there's a serial killer on the loose, and Dr. Kay Scarpetta, medical examiner for the Commonwealth of Virginia, will be using her skills to help track down this serial killer. Highly recommend this series. Patricia Cornwell. Okay, then let's bounce back over, and I believe it'll be Bennett next. See what he's got for us.
All right, we need one last book, and we're going to go with Bennett. We'll let him make our last selection and tell him to put down the clay. Have Dad fix their stereo. Okay, I hope he picked something good for us. We want light and easy. Bob Ross. Thanks, Bob Ross. This is an illustrated book.
Okay, on this one, I'm a little torn. Illustrated, I could very easily pick another middle grade. I find something simple to get through, but for the first time all year, I did not complete my monthly TBR. I had one book left in August that I did not finish, and I was going to push it into September. So this gives me the opportunity to put it officially on my list. So I think I'm going to do that. And that book is Anna and the King of Siam. This is illustrated. And this book is by Margaret Landon. It was written in, this is the first edition, 1944, covering events in 1862 over in Siam, which is now Thailand. So Anna, she is requested by the King of Siam to come to his palace and be a governess to his children and teach himself English and the ways of the Western world. I have started it on like 50 pages in. It's very dry and it's slow. So I honestly don't know if I will DNF this one or actually read it. I'm going to try and push through and finish it. We will see how it goes through the month.
All right, well, they get to enjoy their books. We'll take a little look at the rest of the house real quick. Got the bar over there. Cute little kitchen with our access to the pool. Over here is their, little living area with a feature wall of bricks. And if we pan around, over here is where Annie did her writing. Behind the bar, we've got a staircase. I'm going to be able to do this with the wall up. They have a little bathroom down here as well. So now if we go upstairs, the top of the stairs, I'm not going to try walls up here because it's just not going to work. It's too small. We have their photo gallery. Annie was an orphan, so she adopted 2 orphans later on. And we have Laurel and Kane. There's actually 8 Sims in this house. Here's the master bedroom and the master bath. And off the back, they do have a little balcony. Over here we have the girls' room. We've got the boys on the other side, and it's already set up to accommodate all 6 kids. And in between is a bathroom that they share. But here is the house from an aerial view. But there you go. Like I said, I'll put the link down in the description if anybody wants to download this. All right, so we're going to leave our Sims to their disaster and check back in with them next time.
Thanks to my little ramblers. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I will be doing this every month, and next month we will be moving on to Bronte's house, who is my next heir, and it will be all decorated up for Halloween. So I hope you keep an eye out for that. Be sure and subscribe. And I will also have reviews of these books as soon as I finish reading them. If you want to see the initial video that I did for the Sims TBR, I will have the link up here. This is, just keep in mind, the game is not actually in that video. It's just me picking the books for the prompts because I didn't know how to film it at that point. But anyway, here are my 5, if we include our audiobook up here, for the Sims picks. And we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about most of these. I don't know about Anna. Not looking too good. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, have a great month, y'all. Let me know what you're reading. And by the way, if you are on Storygraph, I will have this challenge up if anybody wants to use my prompts with their own books. I would love to see what you're reading. I believe the name for that one is TS4 Sims TBR Game, something like that. I will put the name of the actual challenge down below, as well as my profile if you didn't see it in the video. It's Allison at the Mighty Bucha. All right, that's it for now. Bye now.